In this video, we'll talk about broccoli, a true miracle among vegetables that protects against cancer, fights free radicals, and more. We will look at what makes it so special, what are its benefits, and how to cook and consume it properly. Why it's especially important to consume broccoli sprouts and microgreens. We'll learn exactly how to sprout broccoli seeds. We will answer an interesting question: who lives longer, broccoli fans or those who ignore it? We will also highlight contraindications to the use of broccoli, give advice on how to maximize the benefits, and indicate a safe daily rate of its consumption for adults and children. There are many interesting facts about broccoli that you may not know. This video will be extremely informative and helpful. So, if you want to become the master of your health, click like and let's get started. The history of broccoli begins in Italy, where it has been known since Roman times. Broccoli is believed to have originated from a wild cabbage that grew in the Mediterranean region. The name broccoli comes from the Italian word roccolo, which means flowering top of cabbage. Broccoli became popular in Italy in the 16th century, and since then, its cultivation has spread throughout Europe. Broccoli came to America in the early 20th century with Italian immigrants, but it did not become widespread and popular in the United States and other countries around the world until the second half of the 20th century. Today, broccoli is recognized as one of the healthiest vegetables due to its high content of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other nutrients. It contains sulforaphane, a unique substance discovered in 1992, about the effect of which more than 3,000 scientific papers have been written. The benefits of broccoli are scientifically proven and include liver detoxification, powerful antioxidant action, strengthening of blood vessels and joints, reducing the risk of obesity, diabetes, cancer and cardiovascular disease, and prevention of neurodegenerative diseases and autism. Sulforaphane has been widely studied and is found in cruciferous vegetables, but is especially abundant in broccoli. It is important to realize that sulforaphane is not formed when broccoli is cooked because its precursor is not activated. When eating raw broccoli, the mechanical processing of the vegetable causes more juice to be released, enzymes to be activated, and therefore more sulforaphane to be formed. Therefore, to maximize the benefits of broccoli, it is recommended to chew it thoroughly to activate the necessary enzymes and release sulforaphane. For example, the enzyme that activates digestion is saliva. I have already talked about it in detail in the lectures on the digestive system. So, what to do? The ideal is to consume broccoli raw. But if for some reason, such as pancreatic problems, a person cannot eat raw broccoli, how can they get the valuable sulforaphane? You can cheat nature a bit here, and there are two options. One is if you cook with fresh raw broccoli, and the other is if you use frozen broccoli. If the broccoli is fresh, you need to chop it and wait about an hour for enough sulforaphane to synthesize, which is thermostable and will persist when heated further. Sulforaphane is thermostable, so you'll get more of it when steamed, which is preferable, or cooked in a soup. Chop the broccoli smaller and wait at least 40–50 minutes before putting it in a steamer or pot. I hope you get the point. After slicing, we need to wait so that the enzyme myrosinase has time to convert the precursor of sulforaphane, glucoraphanin, into the active ingredient sulforaphane. Thus, we slice first, let the enzyme work up to form sulforaphane, and only then cook. But of course, the best way to consume broccoli is raw, as I do. For example, when adding broccoli to a salad, using a blender will further improve the process. You will chop the broccoli to the smallest particles, ensuring maximum enzyme activity and, as a result, high-quality conversion and synthesis of sulforaphane. In this way, you can prepare, for example, a cream soup and subject it to prolonged heat treatment without losing its beneficial properties. In the case of frozen broccoli, sulforaphane is practically not preserved after defrosting and cutting, because before freezing, the cabbage undergoes a preliminary heat treatment, blanching. This destroys the enzymes needed to synthesize sulforaphane. Unlike home freezing without pre-cooking, there are no enzymes in such broccoli, and sulforaphane will not form, no matter how much you chop and wait. However, the precursor to sulforaphane, glucoraphanin, is still present, and herein lies the trick. Simply add the enzyme myrosinase from other cruciferous plants to synthesize sulforaphane. The best option is to introduce crushed mustard leaves, ground mustard, or its seeds into the diet. A teaspoon per 150-200 grams of broccoli is enough. Instead of mustard, you can use grated horseradish. So the enzyme in mustard activates glucoraphanin, resulting in the synthesis of sulforaphane. But it is important to wait before cooking or eating fermentation-activated frozen broccoli in a salad, and then boil, stew, or eat as is. This approach will allow your body to absorb the sulforaphane as if you were consuming the broccoli raw. However, it is worth remembering that when cooked, many vitamins are destroyed and some minerals become unabsorbable to the body. Therefore, broccoli is better added to salads in raw form, as well as any greens or vegetables from the cruciferous family. It is desirable to consume them in their natural, raw form in order to preserve the entire biologically valuable composition. Partially compensate for the loss of nutrients during cooking helps to sprout broccoli seeds, which is a source of vitamins, minerals, and is characterized by a high content of sulforaphane and other bioactive components. Broccoli sprouts contain dozens of times more sulforaphane than adult plants or fruits. It is enough to consume 150-200 grams of activated or raw broccoli per day to obtain the beneficial properties. Broccoli combined with turmeric and black pepper acts as a catalyst, enhancing antioxidant and protective effects. Broccoli sprouts have been scientifically proven to slow the growth of prostate and breast cancer, as well as help detoxify and regenerate liver cells. In addition, broccoli sprouts are rich in tryptophan, an essential amino acid that can also be obtained in supplement form. So, let's look at 2 ways to properly germinate seeds to avoid infection. First, you can soak the seeds for a few hours, then thoroughly rinse and treat them with a weak solution of manganese. After that, the seeds are placed in a jar covered with gauze, fastened with a rope or rubber band, and evenly spread over the surface. Jars are placed horizontally, creating the conditions of a mini greenhouse. Alternatively, you can use special devices for germination or improvised means. Continuing treatment with a weak solution of manganese 1-2 times a day to maintain humidity. Germination continues until the 5th to 6th day, when the concentration of useful substances, including vitamins, reaches a maximum. For example, the vitamin C content in sprouts can be 20 times higher than in ungerminated seeds, which not only serves as a powerful antioxidant defense, but is also important for healthy and youthful skin. The second method, growing microgreens, requires similar initial steps followed by growing under lights. As a result, a mini conveyor belt of 5-6-liter jars can be set up in the kitchen to get fresh sprouts all the time. Consumption of broccoli sprouts, rich in vitamin A, important not only for vision but also for the skin, can be 30-60 grams per day. The key is to chew them thoroughly to a liquid state before swallowing to maximize their effectiveness. The second method is to grow microgreens. To do this, take a round glass container, such as a bowl, slightly smaller than a strainer. The strainer should be adapted so that it becomes flat, and distribute washed seeds in an amount of about 5-7 grams. Then pour water so that it slightly touches the seeds, but does not cover them completely. Water should be changed once or twice a day, and it is better to use water infused with shungite, which will reduce the frequency of water changes and enrich the seedlings with the beneficial properties of shungite through the root system. When the seedlings begin to sprout, keep the water level at the level of the strainer, not higher. Provide the seedlings with enough light by using a backlight or placing them near a bright window. Wait until the sprouts reach a height of 6-8 centimeters, which usually happens on the 9th to 11th day after soaking. The sprouts can then be cut and eaten up to 50-100 grams per day. In this way, the lectins contained in the seeds will not be present in the sprouts as they are concentrated in the lower part and not in the tops. Before consumption, it is recommended to leave the chopped sprouts for 20-30 minutes and then add them to a salad or eat them as a puree, chewing them thoroughly. This promotes better absorption of nutrients and maximum preservation of the beneficial properties of microgreens. Now, pay attention. Consumption of broccoli has a number of contraindications. Broccoli is considered a safe and healthy food for most people, but there are some cases where its consumption may be undesirable or require caution. 1. Thyroid problems. Broccoli contains glucosinolates, which can affect thyroid function, especially when consumed raw and in large quantities. People with hypothyroidism or other thyroid conditions should discuss broccoli consumption with their doctor. 2. Digestive problems. Broccoli may cause gas and abdominal bloating in some people due to its complex carbohydrates, which are difficult to digest. 3. Taking anticoagulants, blood-thinning medications. Broccoli is rich in vitamin K, which plays a key role in blood clotting. People taking anticoagulants such as warfarin may need to monitor their intake of foods rich in vitamin K to prevent it from affecting the effectiveness of the medication. 4. Allergies. Although broccoli allergies are rare, some people may experience allergic reactions to cruciferous vegetables. It is important to remember that in most cases, eating broccoli in moderation is safe and has significant health benefits. If you have certain medical conditions or are taking medications that may interact with broccoli, it is recommended that you consult your doctor. What is the recommended intake of broccoli for children and adults? For adults, it is recommended to consume about 1-2 servings of broccoli per day, where one serving is approximately 150 grams in raw form or 75 grams if the vegetable is cooked. This amount allows you to get enough of the nutrients and antioxidants found in broccoli without overloading your body. For children, broccoli consumption recommendations vary depending on age. For children under 3 years of age, 50-75 grams of broccoli per day is sufficient. For older children, 4 to 8 years old, the recommended portion can be about 100-150 grams. It is important to take into account that broccoli should be introduced into the child's diet gradually, starting with small portions to avoid possible digestive disorders. It is always worth taking into account the individual characteristics of the body and possible contraindications to the use of broccoli, such as thyroid problems or hypersensitivity to the product. Consultation with a doctor is recommended in case of any doubts or illnesses. So, to summarize all of the above, how to get the most health benefits from eating broccoli. To maximize the health benefits of eating broccoli, there are a few key guidelines to keep in mind. 1. Preparation and cooking. Raw broccoli contains more sulforaphane, a substance with powerful antioxidant effects. However, light steaming or blanching can improve the availability of some nutrients and reduce glucosinolates, which can negatively affect the thyroid gland when consumed in large quantities. It is best to avoid prolonged cooking, as this can result in significant loss of vitamins and minerals. Combining with other foods. To enhance the absorption of vitamin C found in broccoli, you can combine it with foods rich in fats, such as adding olive oil or avocado to salads. This will also help enhance the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin K. 3. Consumption of broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts contain much more sulforaphane than adult plants. Add them to salads, sandwiches, or smoothies for maximum benefits. 4. Regularity of consumption. Including broccoli in your diet several times a week can help maintain optimal health and prevent a variety of diseases. 5. Combining it with an active lifestyle. A nutritious diet that includes broccoli should be combined with regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management to maximize health benefits. 6. Avoiding processing. Try to choose fresh broccoli over processed or pre-cooked options to avoid added sugars, salt, and preservatives. By following these tips, you can maximize the health benefits of broccoli and improve your overall health. And to answer the final question, who lives longer, broccoli fans or those who ignore it? It is difficult to establish a direct link between broccoli consumption and longevity, because life expectancy depends on many factors, including genetics, lifestyle, level of physical activity, quality of diet in general, and many other aspects. However, due to its high content of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients, broccoli can have a positive impact on health by improving the functioning of the immune system, reducing the risk of developing chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. More information on this topic can be found at the links in the description below this video and on our channel. Subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications. Please like and share this video with your friends. Thanks to our sponsors for their support. I eagerly await your comments and encourage you to watch these useful videos.